Hello and welcome. I'm Camilla and I am so glad you're here. I love line and wash sketches, and one of the things I've found the most tricky is foreshortening. You know, where you are not seeing the flower from the front. Can I get that in focus? No? When you're seeing the flower from the front, but then you kind of angle it and see it from the side. So some of these petals are suddenly shorter. You can not see everything. And some of them are tucked behind and stuff. Gets a little bit tricky. So I am going to show you in this video how to work with foreshortening the petals. Before I start sketching our flower petals, oh, there's a spider. There you go. Now, without spiders, I wanted to just quickly go over this sketch just to share a few basics about foreshortening. Because when we have a flower from the front, we often see it as just a round circle with petals that are the same length, like that. This is a daisy, of course, but you can see how this very simple flower has the same length of petals and also the same width. When we are starting to see it from the side, first of all, the center becomes more of an oval than with this circle over here, but you also see something happening to the petals around it. We have the ones in the back here. They are becoming shorter than the actual leaf from the front. So they are becoming foreshortened. The ones in the front, that's the same. They are beginning to be shorter as well in length. The width is still the same with this one over here, but the length is getting shorter. And these are, of course, seen at a little bit of a side. You can see over here they are shorter as well, and then you can see the ones in the sides are becoming narrower because you're seeing them from the side. So they are also kind of foreshortened, but in width. So they are the original length, but the width is shorter. And they're becoming narrower. So that is a great thing to think about. When we are sketching our flowers, we can work with two things. We can work with the shape of the petal and the lines within it. And I'm going to show you how to do that now with our flower here. So just putting that aside and see if you can see that here. So when we look at it from the front, we have a round circle and petals that have this teardrop shape. Really, really beautiful. But then when we start to see them from a side here, angle, you can see how these become shorter. You see less of them. Here in the sides we have the longer petals, but narrower because we can't see the entire petal shape. You can see how if we turn it, you can see it, but we won't be able to see it when we are just looking straight at it. And then of course we have the petals here in the front, where you can almost just see the front of it and kind of the bend of the petal. And the bend will be able to recreate with the shaping lines in just a second. So I'm gonna put it here, and I will see if I can replicate this. Still looking at it. So we have the center as an oval, kind of like that. And this will be a very rough sketch, by the way. So we have an oval here, and then we have the petals in the back. And we are keeping it in the same width as we would with if it was from the front, but in a shorter version. And when we get to the sides, we can give it a more full length. But for now, this is it. You can see how they're already becoming longer as we go to this petal and this petal. And if we start with these, I can show you the direction lines as well, because now we have the ones in the back, and all of these are kind of going, this is going kind of that way. This one is that way. And this one goes that way. And you can see how the direction lines are really turning as we go towards the edges here. And I would like to show you just a variation. I don't have it here in the flower, but if we had a flower petal that would kind of bend all the way down, you would see it as a like that, but ending in a line like that. And here you would be able to just put a small petal peeking there, and you can attach a few lines as well to that, shaping lines, but this will be a really cool bent petal. Now I want to continue to these, and that's because the ones in the sides are kind of hiding behind these foreshortened ones in the front. So I'm going to start with this one here, because it's nice and distinct. And here you can only see kind of the bent part of the petal, and then actually a bit of the bottom or the back side of the petal. So that is kind of attaching to the stem around here, of this kind of nest for the stem. And there's a lot of these foreshortened ones that are doing the same, where you can kind of see the back, and then you have the bent leaf or the bent petal here. And you can see if you had done this in pencil, you would be able to remove these lines, and then you can always sketch it again afterwards in Fineliner. I kind of always like to go in deep already with the Fineliners. I don't know. So you can see how this is all just the bent petals, and then we can go to the other side where you have a petal that is kind of tilted at an angle, but still visible below. We have one here, and it's really all about observing the flower, seeing what it wants to do, and really use a pencil if it helps, because it can really make the process quite a lot easier. And I think I'm just going to add one more here. This is almost just the back side, but just adding a little bit of a bend there will make it visible as a petal as well there. And now we have the ones in the front. I'm gonna put a few shaping lines to those as well before we add the ones in the sides. So just here, the shaping lines will really make a difference, because we are seeing these bends and trying to get our heads to wrap around where are they going and what are they doing. And especially with these foreshortened ones, it can be a little bit tricky. So you can see how much it helps. And when we have this back side, they are going up where these are kind of bending over. So just giving these that direction as well, even if it's the back of the petal, really helps say that this is going up, and then we have the bend. Finally, have this one just going that way. And then finally, I want to add just a few here in the sides. And they are, as I said before, longer because they are the full length, but a little bit narrower. This one actually has a bend to it. Get that as well. And then a few shaping lines to this as well. And they are just really plain going in that direction and that direction. And I'm just going to add a bit of detail in here, just for the fun of it. We can add there you go. So here we have the beautiful, I think it's a senior or something like that, with foreshortened petals. So we have the ones in the back, the same width as in if they were in full bloom or in front bloom, but shorter. Then we have the ones in the sides that are narrower, but in full length. And then we have the ones in the front where you can kind of see a bent petal and a back of the petal. And don't be scared of this, just use a pencil, and you can definitely do this in just a few tries. It's not hard, but it does take a little bit of practice because you really need to observe your reference and translate it into paper. So try it a few times and I promise you it'll be absolutely amazing. I thought I'd make a beautiful end to this video, and I got this. It's very delicious, but a little bit strong. I hope you learned something from the video and you feel ready to tackle the flowers from an angle, because it's so effectful and wonderful, and makes them so much more realistic when you are looking at them, not just from the front but from an angle. And you just get so many variations to play with, so I hope you will try that. And if you want to dive even more into line and wash sketches, I have a beginner course that you are more than welcome to check out. If you're watching this video in September 2023, there's actually a 50% discount, which almost never happens. It's the first time, and probably the last time in 2023 as well. I'm gonna put a link for the beginner class here below, and that covers every technique you need, and including mindset, how to read references, stuff like that. There's real-time tutorials, everything. So if you want to dive into line and wash sketches, flowers, it's flowers, then check out that course, and you are more than welcome to send me a message as well if you have any questions. And now I just want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you around in the next video. Bye!